Welcome. We're at part 5 or the beginning of a really awesome stretch. So if you're just starting out, maybe press the feet in, spread the hands, feel the inner and the outer ridges of the palms equally pressing, drawing the elbows back. Take a breath and fill the belly space. And then exhale, lift the belly space. Let the feet and the hamstrings do the work, but not the glutes. Maybe they don't fire up as much. It's more like the lengthening of the inner upper thighs into the body and the body towards the heart. If I lock my elbows out, I kind of get a little bit of a crunch in the shoulders, so I'm going to keep a slight bend. Keep the neck soft, and as you exhale, take it down. You can do that again if you want. Inhale, take the heels out, flex the feet. And then exhale, inner thighs, low belly rise, and then inhale at the top for a little stretch to the east, the front of your body. And then exhale, maybe take it down. Cross your arms over your chest. Inhale. Open them up. Exhale, cross your arms the other way over your chest. Maybe as you exhale, you round the upper spine. Inhale. Notice I said round the upper spine, not the lower spine. So if you pushed your lumbar curve out, remember the exhale lengthens the front of your lumbar spine. So we're going to try and work that. And up. Sit on a block if you have to push your sacrum, your hips forward, or your lumbar curve out to sit with straight legs. Okay, that's pretty important. You can go side to side, get the flesh out, so you're a little more grounded. See if the outer edges of the feet can pull back as much as the inner edges when you flex the toes. Then point the toes to make little dancer's feet. See what happens. See if when you point the toes, do your legs externally rotate naturally? For some people, they might internally rotate. And then flex and see if you get more internal rotation, or maybe your legs just feel stronger in one area. And then point the foot, but flex the toes. I call it flointing. And just see the difference there. Squeeze the big toe mounds towards one another. Maybe the heels don't touch. Maybe they do. Just check it out. And you don't have to be hanging forward to do this. I just am because I don't feel like sitting up straight. All right, so pick your foot position of choice. Just for fun, I'm going to go pointed toes. And as I inhale, I'm going to draw the seat back with the heart forward. Then exhale, I'm going to lift out of the seat like I'm trying to zip the navel out of the crown of my head. Now, not everybody can get as low as me. I understand. I'm a little bit of an anomaly. I can fold in half. It's not what the average person can do. And just because you can fold in half doesn't mean you should. So if you're feeling stretching pretty intense under the kneecaps or at the attachment points of the hamstring, I would say back it off, maybe separate the legs, maybe bend the knees, and get the stretch to come here in the belly of the hamstring. That's important because a lot of times, and I've done this so I know, that's why I'm speaking from experience, just for the sake of aesthetics, like this, folding in half, or because the teacher said, oh, straighten your legs, oh, see if you can fold in half, I was damaging my attachment points here, even though I knew better. Well, now I really know better. So find a good Paschimottanasana, stretching the westward side of your body. Maybe go side to side. If you're up, that's fine. And then I want you to change the position of your feet right now. So if they were flexed point, if they were point flexed. Notice the differences in how the legs stretch when the feet are in different positions. And then you can slowly try to keep that lifting, because you don't want to be just letting your belly hang down. You want to have a gentle lift. It doesn't have to be huge. It just has to be this little, inner thigh, pelvic floor, tiny lift. Maybe the heart reaches forward, maybe it doesn't. Side to side. If you want to come up, let's inhale. Fill up the belly, fill up the back body, and then exhale, lift Mula Bandha. Take the root to the sun, right? Take to the solar plexus, rise up. I'm going to sit on a block now. Doesn't matter who you are, we're going to sit on a block. Tuck the left shin under. Have the right foot on the other side of the left shin and sit tall. Just enjoy this position with no striving for something that you perceive to be better or more complicated. And if you can't enjoy this position, something's going on in one of the hips or the knee, you can extend your left leg out away from you, or just keep this leg down, okay? We're not going for the ultimate hip stretch, we're going to go for the ultimate twist, if we can. So whatever part of your feet are touching the floor, both feet, press it down to get that little lift, right? And then as you exhale, lift the left spine and twist it to the right. Do it with your arms free. Breathe, ground, exhale, lift, twist, and then when you're ready, you can take things down so you can relax. I'm all about taking a little break here. If your right hand comes to your hip, great. You may need another block. I do have another block behind me, but I'm going to choose to take the bind, so I'm going to take that right shoulder forward for a second and just kind of do the opposite of what I want to eventually get to, and then that'll help me snake this hand back. And then as I inhale, I'll exhale, lift the belly, rise up, and then breathe in at the top. Now I can put my hand further. If I just went from this position and snaked my hand back, I wouldn't have gone this far. I would have had to kind of jam things and work it out. So the right sit bone might be a little light, try to leaden it. And then the left shoulder might be a little hiked up into the ear, so try to lengthen out of your left side waist. Sort of draw it up towards the ribs and to the right. If you're feeling game, you can take a little bindy bind, right? So now this shoulder comes forward, and I'm not cranking myself, so don't crank. And then maybe this comes back here. Now this could be a little bit easier if you unwind yourself, take this out. And I'm going to take the block out. You can too. I'm going to take this back under. Now if my right sit bone came up high, I would take that leg back out again. So from here, I'm going to curl. I'm still lifting the tailbone up into the body, and I'm coiling the low belly a bit. Just going to get that little roundness, but not so much here. I'm rounding in the front of my body. And then I can reach back a little bit. It would help if my foot came in. It's about as far as I'm going to get here. I don't have a bind here. And then, just like I did before, right shoulder comes in and then it comes back. If you feel pretty twisted here, you can take this foot out. What I like to do is I just draw this forearm outer leg. I feel pretty good here, a little crunched in the low spine, so I'm going to get small again, like a little seed. Take a breath here, and then as I exhale, I'm going to blossom from the core. Ah, feels better. Feels so much better. All right, let's release that. Take a baby Uttanasana here, and take the hands underneath. So baby, don't take your legs to full range of motion unless you really feel like that's necessary. If you can take the fingers behind your heels, that's great. If they can go through and on the other side, that's fantastic. What you can do here is you can inhale, draw the forearms, or I should say the upper arms, towards your inner thighs, heart forward, and then exhale, lengthen, lift from the sit bones. Don't let the sit bones get light, and then inhale, heart forward again, then continue to reorganize myself in that shape until I feel like I've hit range of motion. Now, when I start to feel the attachment points of the hamstring stretch, what I do is I draw the upper inner thighs a little bit in and down towards the floor. For me, that helps. For others, bending the leg might be the key. Take your fullest breath, even if you're sitting straight up tall, because those inner thighs or the hamstrings just won't cooperate and your legs are bent and you look more like a spider sitting up on its butt end. That's okay. Even if you're not folded forward, but especially if you are, inhale, Kind of expand everything in the torso, all directions, balloon, and then exhale from the base of your body. Let the air out of the balloon and start to let it come up to the top where your string's attached. And shake it out. Block it. Right shin under. Foot over. So we're accomplishing twists and hip stretches and forward bends. We're trying to get everything going here. So sit tall and just be with the pose. And just focus on where the body is right now rather than where you think it's going. And when the urge to start deepening the twist happens, can you take one more breath cycle in the current state? And just check and see if you're resisting the current state or if you truly are ready to just keep moving on. So you can inhale and then press, especially that left seat, a little more into the block. Floor, exhale, lift right on the right waist, twist to the left. Have some loose arms, so you're using all breath and belly. And then when you're ready, if you want, you can think a little bit. Maybe the left hand to the hip, or take that left shoulder in for a moment. Maybe just round the upper back. Feel a little stretch. Remember getting the backs of the body. Just take the shoulder in and then inhale. Sit more deeply. The heart could sort of reach forward and then exhale again from waist to ribs. Now I can lift up because I'm not cranking with leverage. I'm actually using core work here. And it feels pretty good, but I think I could sit a little taller. So I just, again, draw from the top of the right hip to the bottom of the left rib. On the exhale. Alright, we can take it down. If you want to try that bind, go ahead. I'm going to come to the floor, your choice. Right leg can go straight. So, I'm going to get small, but I'm still going to try to make sure my sit bones have some contact. I'm going to get small here. And I'm going to hollow out the very low belly. I mean below the navel. So you are lifting a little in the pelvic floor. Inner thighs might even kind of come in. And for me, there's not much going on here for a full bind. But I'm still going to come up. Try to use the inhale to fill the current position and the exhale to move. But that doesn't mean that you can't take an inhale. The inhale still moves you. And this is just not comfortable for me, so I'm going to take my hand back because I can feel that I'm losing engagement. I can't lift my front body up enough to draw the pelvis neutral. I feel like it's tilting back. So these are subtle things that you could perceive in your body or not. And that's why you have instructors to give you a little bit of feedback. I'm going to take this out. Coming to the back now. I'm going to go right to happy baby, but be careful. Hamstrings may not be ready, so you may just take a loose happy baby. Sort of shake things around a bit. Outer edges of feet are my preferred grabbing point, but you could take big toe mounds. Inner edges, if the feet aren't quite there, don't reach for the feet at the expense of tension in the upper back. Take your thighs. And just because you can grab your feet doesn't mean you can't grab your thighs. This is kind of fun right now. I'm kind of having fun. Cross, interlace the fingers, and I'm sort of locked in here. Feels kind of yay. Alright, now what do we do from here? We can get into a little bit of heart opening, bridge. So draw everything in, maybe on the inhale or the exhale. It's kind of up to you. At this point, we're just stretching things out. Interlace the fingers. If you can snuggle your upper arms under your body, then yay. Don't turn your head like I just did because it's part of your support here. You want to feel maybe that little Jalandhara Bandha idea where there's a bit of a lengthening in the the bones of your skull from back to top. Maybe you even feel like the top of your spine pulls away from the floor more towards the heart, so the upper arms can do a little more of the grounding work, and it's not so much in your head. Now from here, I might decide, because I've done all 4 parts before this, that I want to take a little Mick Jagger hands here. I feel pretty supported, but I gotta roll those inner thighs down. For me, got some SI joint issues, and as long as I'm grounded and I'm rolling my inner thighs down, toes are turned in, I feel pretty happy with life. Take a block under your sacrum if this is not your happy place. I want to feel supported by my hands. I don't want to feel like I'm still trying to lift out of my hands, but there's still like that root lifting. I want to keep the ribs from popping out. At this point, the left wrist is actually getting a little upset, so I'm just going to take it down because it's not worth it. Not worth it. Windshield wiper. Keep those legs super loose. I notice a lot of times in class you tell people, have a loose arrangement of the legs, like little thunderbolt legs, and their knees are tucked up close. And I often wonder why that is. Maybe I should ask. Good. Now from here you may want to take a wheel, but I would recommend before that, take your hands, the heels of your hands into the hip creases where the legs meet. You might even feel your little aces here, those frontal hip points. Hello. All right, now letting your shoulder blades be pretty flat on the floor, press your legs away from you like you're trying to detach your legs from your body, and allow your low belly to get really, really like heavy. Like all the organs in the reproductive organs and the digestive organs are just heavy and pressing down towards the floor, pulling towards the back of your body so you can feel the spine lengthen. So you don't want to have abdominal engagement to a certain degree unless that feels really good. So if you lift the low belly and the ribs, what does that feel like? And what does it feel like when you inhale and you create all this space in your abdominal cavity? Sort of push the breath down a hair. But keep pushing those legs away. This just gives you traction in your spine. See if you can feel the front of the hip points start to stretch, and a little like hollowing out between the front hip points, those bony points, and the base of your ribs. See if you feel like a little hollowing, a natural hollowing. Maybe no. Okay, now I'm ready for wheel. So create a little bit of space here. All right. Find your hamstrings. There they are. All right. Press your feet into the floor. And just like we talk a lot about that gathering of the energy, flip your hands. If your hands don't go flat, I'm not going to workshop you to death here. If your hands don't go flat, I'm going to say don't do your wheel like this. But you're going to inhale, press the 3 points of the feet, the whole hand, especially the inner hand. As you exhale, you'll lift your belly, you'll activate those hamstrings. Pause here at the top of your shoulders. Inhale, release the glutes, and try to press the inner thighs. And then exhale, lift from your low belly. This is low belly. Now it's rippling up to the sun, the solar plexus. I'm going to come up from the solar plexus. Inhale into the heart. Feel free to wave back and forth. Come down. I might do a second one, but today I don't feel like it. So that's just how it is. Take your feet apart, your knees together, let them knock in. And from here, start to gather all of your energies inward. You're not focusing too much now on things of the past, things of the future. Release any tension in the inner thighs or the glutes. Let your legs support one another, like 2 cards pointing in, making a little card rooftop. You can stretch your legs out for Shavasana. If you didn't invert enough in this practice, there's plenty of inversion stuff. Feel free to find an inversion while you ignore me on the whole Shavasana thing. So if Shavasana is corpse pose for you, that's fine. If you interpret Shavasana as just an ending resting pose, then find that. Roll the shoulders underneath the body. Feel free to grab all the blankets and bolsters, pillows and fluffy things that you want. This is a long class if you've done all the parts. So you've really earned a nice long rest. And although I'm not going to tape 10 whole minutes of Shavasana with you, that is what I recommend for a class this long. The more time you can give your muscles to rest, connective tissue can rehydrate. And that way, when you get up and you go into the less mindful aspects of your day, like drive asana and iPhone asana, computer asana, all that stuff. You start falling into those patterns, you at least gave your body some time to take the practice you did, the yoga that you did, to cool down from it, to rehydrate and start to reprogram the tissues. That's why Shavasana is so important. It's time for the body to assimilate what it just did and start to reprogram a new mobility and a new strength, a new spaciousness, not just in the body, but mentally and energetically too. Thank you for practicing with me. Keep laying here. Use your breath as the anchor. And have a wonderful rest of your day.